What's going on, everyone? Thrift, Barringer, Richard Holdridge, and we are live here on this Monday night. It's the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet, GMC, Buffalo Rock, Pepsi, Gordy Eye Care, and Kinetic Credit Union. Big Rich, what is up, man?
It's great to be back. I love it when we do a Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Busy week last week, and I am really excited about talking about sports.
I am too, Richard. We got a lot we're going to be getting into. We got a jam-packed show for you. We got some elite coaches hopping on board here that we're going to be interviewing. We're dropping our first baseball rankings of the season, so everybody's going to tune in for that. We'll have our final basketball rankings on Sunday because after Hardaway, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the air. Hardaway's going to win the state championship. I'm trying to speak this into existence. Once they win the state championship, we'll put out our rankings. But, again, congratulations to the Pacelli Vikings and Lady Vikings. Back-to-back consecutive seasons for the first time ever in the history of Columbus and the Tri-City area that a school had both the girls and boys win back-to-back in consecutive years. For the boys and Coach Calvin Thomas, he takes over Corey Black's program and goes undefeated in his first year. They're on a 40-game winning streak. They won the state championship by 19, but they led almost by 30. They dominated everybody in their path this year, especially in the GIAA. What a performance. Jalen Bush is the GIAA co-player of the year, Richard. Michaela Hoadsley, the GIAA player of the year. Bryant Thomas, coach of the year. Calvin Thomas, coach of the year. So congratulations for a full sweep for the Pacelli Vikings and Lady Vikings. It was an honor to be on the call with you, Richard, Saturday night at Columbus State as they both win the state championship.
It truly was. We witnessed it last year at Columbus State. Just the jubilation, the excitement of Pacelli winning a championship. That was great last year. It was even better this year because they got to go back-to-back. And it was just a great feeling just to experience it once again. And I'm a historian, Thrift. I had to go into the history books to see if this is the first time that this has ever been a back-to-back champion. Definitely in Columbus. I know that Glenwood had a three-peat, but I think that this is, in a while, it's been a very long time since we've had back-to-back champions in the city of Columbus.
Congratulations to seniors like Caleb Jackson, who had phenomenal years. Seniors like Jalen Bush and Trenton Latham in his final game. This guy averaged about 2 to 3 points a game. In his final game, he put up 11. I was so impressed with this team. They were hyper-focused. Nothing got in their way. They were disciplined, and they go on to win the state championship. Congratulations to them. And we are cheering on for the Hardaway Lady Hawks. They're the last team alive. We want them to win a state championship for sure. But, again, it was an honor to be a part of the GIAA. It was an awesome venue. Great job for Columbus State, Jimbo Davis, and the rest for being gracious hosts. The GIAA is a top-tier organization. They had the best food. They had the best they had the best opportunity for these kids to be successful, and it was great for all the fans that were there. Just an overall incredible event, and we called 20 games in 4 days, man. 20 games from between the GIAA, the Elite Eight games from Carver and Hardaway. It was a lot of games. My voice was really giving out there towards the end, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was an honor to do all of them, and we look forward to baseball and soccer season. Thank you again to Tony Morgan, Clint Morgan, Stan Whitlock, Kent Copeland, Brett Taylor, and the rest of the staff that made this possible. We had a lot of fun with everybody. It was great camaraderie, and then just overall a high-level ESPN-level broadcast, and glad we were able to bring it to you.
Yeah, it is just an incredible experience once again, and I had a lot of fun being on the call with you, Thrift, and just appreciated just being a part of the GIAA once again, and it was really great for the city of Columbus. Want to thank the Columbus Sports Council, Mary Sherman, David Boyd, for bringing this event, not only for the championship for the GIAA, but also the semifinals for 3A and 4A. I mean, we saw some great champions like Robert Toombs going back-to-back. We saw Furtaw Prep for the boys go back-to-back. We saw the Lakeview girls go back-to-back. A lot of back-to-back champions. It seemed like that was the theme, and it was just an incredible experience.
No doubt about it. And so in today's show, we're going to drop our rankings. We're also going to be doing a schedule that I'm going to showcase the rest of the schedule. And then we have two incredible guests. We got one of the smartest guys in terms of basketball that I know around the area, Matt Hauser. He's coming on with Richard Holdridge right after this break, and then I'll be doing a one-on-one interview with Coach Robert Moore. It's the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. You're watching right now the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this.
What it's supposed to do.
Okay.
Even though I'm away at college, Kinetic Credit Union is still the best way for me to stay connected here and at home. With the Kinetic mobile app, I have control of my accounts wherever I go. I can easily transfer money between internal and external accounts, get money faster by setting up recurring transfers, and I can find the nearest ATM or branch right from my phone. Plus, I can add my Kinetic cards to my phone's digital wallet and enjoy quick, secure, contactless payments. By the way, Mom, I need some more money.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Mom, I need some more money. Yeah, I know, Thrift, you were wanting to come in on with me with that. We want to thank Kinetic Credit Union, one of our sponsors, also Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Gordy Eye Care, and Pepsi. Also, Columbus State, the next guest. Well, they're having a fantastic season. Got their 20th win on Sunday on Senior Day. Please welcome to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show, the CSU women's head basketball coach, Matt Hauser. Coach, how you doing?
Good. How's it going?
Well, it's going great. Congratulations. You guys have the 2 seed. You will play in the first round at CSU on Wednesday, 5:30. I believe it's 5:30, right? Tip off 5:30 or 5?
It's going to be 5 p.m. and then the men's team is playing right after us at 7:30.
That is awesome. So it's at 5 p.m. You take on the number 7 seed, Georgia Southwestern State University. This is actually a rematch of the Peach Belt Conference Championship last year. And your team has just looked fantastic. Picked up your 20th victory of the season. Congratulations. How's the team feeling going into the Peach Belt Conference tournament?
I think it's we're really excited. We've been down players for the past, I would say 2 to 3 weeks. So it's great that everybody's back healed. We get everybody back, today. And that's a great, thing for us going into, March Madness. So we're really excited about that. And we're really excited about, playing at home and hosting at home. I mean, that's what we worked hard for. So we're really excited about that opportunity this Wednesday.
Coach, one thing about last year's team that you were not afraid to play teams in the Peach Belt Conference tournament on the road. You got a big road victory last year against North Georgia College. So you guys are capable going on the road. There is an outside shot that North Georgia College could get upset by the number 8 seed, which means you guys will be hosting. But I know you don't want to look past Georgia Southwestern. That is a very talented team that won the Peach Belt Conference last year. What are some of the keys to the game to get prepared for a Georgia Southwestern at the Lumpkin Center on Wednesday?
I think it's just, being comfortable in our gym and shooting comfortable in our gym and understanding not to hesitate as much as we do kind of, especially on the road. So I think with everybody being healthy and coming back and being ready to attack with our press and how we pressure, and just being excited to start the game off at home, with that type of, pace and everything. So I think that's what we're looking forward to starting on Wednesday. So, and especially in March, it's all about legs, the longevity of like the teams that maybe only play 6 players or 7 players and seeing how their legs, finish out towards the end. But we go 10 to like 12 deep. So it really is going to be huge for a big 3 like Latai and Alana and Breland to be able to have that support from the bench to help their longevity and their legs, going forward.
Coach, I got to ask you, what would it mean to this team for just Columbus State as a whole to have that Peach Belt Conference tournament? Like, what would it mean to hang a banner at the Lumpkin Center and to have that trophy in that trophy case for this team that you're coaching here to win a Peach Belt Conference?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is what we built when I started here, and this is where we wanted to be, and year in and year out going forward. And so I think what we have is a team that has been in this position before because of last year, and they know how serious details are, especially little details, and how important mistakes are at crucial moments. So I think their focus going forward is going to be super important. because they do want to bring that banner and that trophy back to Columbus State, and they do want to get used to bringing home those titles year in and year out. And it is about learning how to get there, for one, and then two, learning how to bring it home and what it takes to win these games. Because as you know, going forward, nothing is given right now. So you just don't lose, you get beat. So this is not about, a team that's going to give up or whatever. You're going to have to beat every single team. So I think with our returning class, I think they understand that very much. And so, it'd just be huge. Will be my first conference tournament title as a head coach. And I know it's been a minute. I think the last conference title was in 2016-17. And so it'll be something, exciting and bring back to Columbus State, and to get, women's basketball, back into that talk every single year like we're doing right now. And that's what's exciting. And that's what's the excitement around women's and men's basketball at Columbus State right now. We're just, having two really good seasons, and we want to bring home all this hardware. Robert just brought home the conference regular season title outright, which is absolutely amazing. So I think it's just something special that's going on at Columbus State on both teams right now. And it's just fun to be a part of.
Yeah, it's really special to be a Columbus State Cougar. I know all the fans are excited. We want everybody to come out to the Lumpkin Center and show your support for the Lady Cougars and Cougars in the first round of the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. Coach, Thrift and I were at the Lumpkin Center all week last week. We get there early just for prep for the GIAA championships, and I saw you and your team out there. You were out there just hitting the ground running. Had some pretty good practices. Just talk about some of those practices and what were you trying to accomplish, and what are some of the drills that you were working on to get prepared for Georgia Southwestern?
I think it's just about going back and finding little things that we can tweak and get better at. At this point right now, we are who we are as far as, our system, and just making sure that we can keep that speed that we want to keep, every single game. And then also just making sure that our kids are getting extra shots and making sure they're accurate and efficient in these key moments. And then also just, making sure we're prepared for any type of situation, is it tied, down one, whatever it may be. And how confident, our team is in executing in those type of times. So, I think that's what really is, the focus on our team right now. But they're really, really locked in, and it's fun to see them, every single day locked in like this. And it gives your, coaching staff, that confidence of going into this run right now and excitement going forward.
Coach, let's talk about some of your key players. You mentioned Lataya Reeves, also Alana Rawls and Breland Snipes. These three have really been the focal point, and that right now they're all healthy, so that's a good sign. What were some of the players that stepped up in the absence? I know you had some key injuries, and you didn't have a full team all season, but were there anybody that comes to mind that really stepped up, that really carried a load that was in relief for some of the injured players?
Yeah. So, who are, they're all, because we go 5 in and 5 out, and everybody, does their part. But the ones that are really standing out and really performing and keeping that, energy and effort, Sophia Williams, is coming off the bench. And as a point guard, she's, absolutely amazing. She's one of our highest, rebounders. She's up there with the big three with steals per game. And then she's also leading the conference. I think she's 6th or 7th in the conference right now in assists per game, at averaging 2.2 assists per game. So she's just energy incarnate when she comes out there, and she knows her role, and she does a great job in the press. So she helps, especially when those three or someone's got to sit and just, get a little rest. She keeps that intensity on the court. And then the other one that's been really huge for us going forward is Susanna Rudenko from Poland, who's been huge for us down these stretches. And she's, I think, averaging 45% from the field and almost averaging 10 points a game. And she's just finding her niche, and especially her senior year this year, she's just improved every single year, and she's battle tested. She's been, playing the top teams in the country year in and year out. She's been in those games. So now going forward, she's so comfortable, and she really gives us that extra level of offense to help us over the hump when we've been down a player or two. So it's just those two right now have been really, really, adding to the big three. And, Chris Gaucher, our starting point guard, has been really, really well on defense and, hitting key points and hit shots. But her defense right now is just, absolutely tenacious, on ball. So, but we have great, support around. But those girls have been really, keying up and coming up huge at big times in games.
All right, Coach Hauser, my final question to you is, what makes this team special? What are some of the things that is unique about this team and this team that you're coaching?
I think it's, it's going to be a rarity now. And I think, what's so funny is this is not really a unique team. This is really not uniqueness. It's a uniqueness now in the terms of transfer portal and everybody moving and switching teams and all this kind of stuff. But, these girls came in, I would say 80% of my team, 90% of my team started as freshmen. And they've stayed, every single year going forward. And so what that does is that, builds that chemistry and that builds that, learning from failure, and moving up the ladder that you normally used to see from colleges that had players staying as freshmen to sophomores to juniors to seniors. So Columbus State has been, I really, truly believe that, a freshman is supposed to go through those trials and they're supposed to go through those 3 and 4 years. I mean, it's a risk on our part because coaches are scared that we, really develop a freshman and they're awesome by their sophomore year and then they transfer and they go somewhere else. I mean, yeah, that's a possibility now, but I really believe that to ultimately win a national championship now, especially now with how change and interchange and everything has been going down, it's the ones that really have those players that, stay and they know and they trust the coach and they just, go through all that experience is something special now. So it's funny that you brought that up, that what is special about your team. Well, Columbus State has been a team that's really, really kept their core together for all this time. And now you're seeing the byproduct of it. And I truly believe that any team that does that now going forward, they will be in the top 25 in the country. They will be, always in a conference, tournaments, finals, conference, second or first, talks, and then the NCAA, because now it's just the turnover rate is just so much. I just don't see how you get that type of chemistry and that type of longevity that you get from a team that sticks together for 3 or 4 years now.
Well, Coach, good luck in the first round of the Peach Belt Conference tournament, and hopefully you'll be cutting down the nets this next weekend.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
All right, that is the Columbus State women's head basketball coach, Coach Matt Hauser. We're going to go and take a break, and we come back. We're going to try to get the CSU men's basketball coach, Coach Robert Moore, here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. We'll be right back after this.
You're watching right now the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this.
Are you looking for a great deal on a powerful new Chevrolet or GMC full-size truck? Check them out. Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra side by side at Glenn Smith in Opelika, Alabama. Take your choice. A brand new 2024 Chevrolet and GMC 1500 trucks, discounted up to $15,000 off, or 0% financing. Plus, no payments till springtime. Here at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, get ready to smile.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Welcome back to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Thrift Barringer, Richard Holdridge. What an interview there with Coach Matt Hauser and his team. Well, I think he's going to be cutting down the nets on Sunday for sure.
Yes.
I'm telling you, he's a brilliant basketball mind that's done a great job with his program, and he's won 20 games again, consecutive years. Congratulations to him. And we'll be cheering for them on Wednesday, Georgia Southwestern, and then hopefully maybe an upset will happen with North Georgia. If not, I have full confidence in this team heading up to North Georgia and winning the semifinals and finals for the conference championship.
Yeah, they're the number 2 seed. If Chalk holds up, they'll at least get to the Peach Belt Conference Championship like they did. Remember, they beat North Georgia last season as a 3 seed. I believe. Yeah, they were a 3 seed. North Georgia was a 2 seed, and they ended up losing to the 1 seed in overtime. It was an all-time classic. Coach Hauser is going to get this team ready. This team is healthy. And I think they get a big win against Georgia Southwestern on Wednesday. And come on out to the Lumpkin Center because the women's team's going to start at 5. The men's team's going to start at 7:30. It's the first round of the Peach Belt Conference tournament. I mean, this is really where we need all the fan support we can to pack the Lumpkin Center and support CSU Cougars and Lady Cougars.
Yeah, and Richard, let's go ahead and stay on that topic right now at CSU. We're the home of the GIAA state championships. We were part of GIAA.TV's coverage. Also want to say thank you to Mike Peacock, who came in, called several games. He allowed me and you to have a break, Richard, because if there's no Mike Peacock, we would have been literally probably out of gas by the time Saturday came. And that's one of the main days I wanted to be on my A game. But then having Chris Gates, Toygar Isla, Mandy, Braden, Aiden, Riley Bamberg, Lewis, Montavious Walton, JJ, Mr. Tim. We had Austin Hicks. I mean, we had a who's who crew, man. And we were able to accomplish this because of these guys' hard work and determination and allowing us to do what we do. And I really do appreciate everything that they've done. And I appreciate that they have the camaraderie they've had with us. And just, again, great overall effort by everyone involved. And congratulations to all the state championship winning teams. We still commend Central girls, Lady Red Devils and Red Devils, both of them losing the Final Four. They played juggernauts, a bit of buzzsaw. Hoovers, both girls and boys are ranked nationally. I mean, they just, any other team, they would have won state, but they just ran into the best team in the state in the semifinals. And then on the flip side, Carver, they just had a tough time against Butler, and they ended up losing the game in overtime. Tony Montgomery ends his season with 29 points as a senior. But he is going to go down as one of the best players that's ever come through this area. He is a great young man that we believe in fully to go on to the next level and do great things.
Yes.
So we commend all the teams that were able to make it to the Final Four. You made Columbus proud. You made us proud. And as I said in my post, man, it was an honor in the last week to call the Glenwood Central game, to call these GIAA games, the Elite Eight game of Carver Spencer. Richard, it was as I think about it, I got to pinch myself. As busy as we are, I wouldn't take it for nothing, man. It was everything was where everything it turned out the way I thought it was going to be. It was a lot of fun, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm having my one-on-one interview now. Richard did his with Coach Matt Hauser. I'm going to be talking with Robert Moore here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show right after this. You're watching right now the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this.
I'm always on the go. But with the Kinetic Credit Union app, Kinetic is always with me. The Kinetic mobile app is virtual banking at its best. With the Kinetic mobile app, I can easily send and receive money, make a deposit, pay some bills, and I can even open up a new account, all from my phone. And I can monitor all my accounts in one place, all on the go. The Kinetic mobile app, energized banking at its best.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Welcome back to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Thrift Barringer, and now special guests. Bring him to the stage. He is the head coach of the Columbus State men's program. and he's a daggum good guy. Coach Robert Moore. Coach, thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Hey, man, thank you guys for having me, man. I'm glad to be on the show.
No doubt, Coach. As I made mention, I have always, how much you mean to me, how much you mean to a lot of my friends. Always been a big fan of yours, Coach. And now your team is 25-3, 16-2. We talked on this morning on the Sports Visions morning show, and I asked a similar question. I don't want to ask the same one, but this team in particular, Coach, it was something I felt when we were at the golf tournament, that the camaraderie, everyone holding themselves to a standard of excellence. What is it with this team that made it so special?
I think more than anything, Thrift, is they really just enjoy each other, love being around each other. And once you have a special group like this, as a coach, man, you don't never want it to end. And these guys just understand each other. Like I told you before, they go to church together. They go to the movies together. They hang out. If a guy got a big test coming up, they'll study together. I have never seen anything like it, man. And it's just been fun to watch as how they get along with each other and look out for each other.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Coach. And that's what my next question is going to. It's like these guys hold themselves accountable. And if, to be honest with you, and I've heard many coaches say this, the best teams that win national championships can usually coach themselves, and they already know the vision from the coach. Do you feel like that's with your team?
Oh, no doubt. I think these guys hold each other accountable. They understand what we're doing defensively and offensively. And when they step on the court, man, it's all about what we got to do. It's one common goal. We're trying to win the basketball game. And what I like about them more than anything, they have answered the bell on every big game. You have some big games throughout the season. And I think these guys understand that win a championship, man, you just got to be all in and focus on the common goal. And our common goal was to win the regular season championship. We accomplished that. And now we're setting our minds and hearts on winning a Peach Belt tournament title. So I think these guys are ready for the challenge.
Rakeem Gary, he was the big transfer. He came in from New Mexico State D1, and he gets hurt in the middle of the season, Coach. And you're like, oh, what? Here we go again. What are we going to do? Well, you know what you did? You relied upon a guy by the name of Roman Son, who has stepped up beautifully. I was watching him in practice, man. He was holding everybody accountable. He was calling people out. What does it mean to have someone like him to step up when you lose a player in the caliber of Rakeem Gary and not miss a beat?
No doubt. Roman Son is one of our top guys. We watched him play in high school at Thero High School. He won a state championship. He's just a winner, man. He don't have to score all the points. He know how to get his teammates involved. And one of the things I liked about him more than anything, when we were struggling 2 years ago or 3 years ago, he held all those guys accountable. And he's like, hey, man, it's not working out for us right now, but we just got to keep working and believing in the coaching staff and believing in each other. And now we're here, man. We never thought 25-3, but I think Roman Son, I call him the heart and soul of the team. Yeah. And a car can't run without an engine. He's the engine to what we're trying to do.
Not Jared. We'll talk about him in a moment. Jelani James and Cordell Brown, the two-headed monster in the middle. They're giving you about 23, 24 points a game. They're giving you close to 15 rebounds a game. Those guys do all the little things right, and they can step out, hit threes, but they know their role on their team. Talk about guys like that it came from high Division I level. And coming here at CSU, normally guys like that are like, hey, I need to be the man. I need the ball. Those aren't those type of guys. They bought into their role, and that's why you got such a good team, Coach.
Oh, yeah, they're two great guys, man. They believe in each other. They work well together. Jelani transferred in from Georgia Tech, and they just didn't have no ego. They just wanted to play basketball and be on a winning program. And they spent a lot of time this summer. Those are two guys, and with three other guys that paid their own way to summer school, man, and they got in that gym and worked with your guy DP individually. Yep. They played with some overseas guys during the summer, and they just got better and better and better, and they got stronger in the weight room. So, I mean, I tell anybody, when we go up against good post players, we're not big in stature, but these guys are athletic. They play well together, and they're going to give you everything they got.
Wisdom Ubo, he was hurt early in the year, and he's come on really strong. How his progression has been here in the last couple of weeks, Coach, and talk about what he's meant to the program and his scoring ability, which has been crucial.
Oh, yeah, we always knew that we could never make this run without Wisdom Uba. Even when we had Rakeem Gary, we had Wisdom coming off the bench because he had a high ankle sprain that took about a month to heal. But he has really adjusted well. We play him a little bit at the point sometimes, but he mainly our two guard. I think he scored like 20 points in the second half the other night against Georgia College. He's just one of those guys, man. He's like a heater. If he gets it going, man, the heat is coming, and he can just hit shot after shot after shot. And we told him, we said, hey, man, if we're gonna make a run, you got to be a big part of what we do. And just watch him grow and mature over the last couple of years, leaving CBC after 1 year and playing 3 years here, man. It's just been wonderful to watch Wiz progression and how he's helped his basketball team.
What's the one thing with Jared Atherton that stands out the most, Coach? When someone walks in the gym and they ask you about Jared, what makes him so special? What would that be in your opinion?
The ability to score. He reminds me of a Kobe Bryant. Just give him the ball, man. He's going to find ways to score. Whether it's a three-point shot, it's a mid-range, it's a getting to the rim. He's athletic, and his engine runs all day long, man. He can play for 40 minutes. We try to give him a break the first half and the second half, but I'm telling you, he's in great condition. He takes care of his body. He's always stretching. He's always doing things to help his body. And I think he's one of those guys, man, that I feel like going to make a lot of money overseas. Mm-hmm. And his best basketball is ahead of him.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Coach. And hopefully he should be unanimous Peach Belt Player of the Year. Unanimous.
No doubt.
Yeah. And if that is not the case, I promise you, I won't be the only one that is upset. Let's talk about Georgia Southwestern, Coach. And I'm going to bring up something like I remember Auburn a few years ago. They were number 1 seed. They ended up getting beat by Texas A&M, an 8 seed in the first round of the conference tournament. Just because you win your conference during the regular season doesn't mean you can't get upset. So what's your message to your team to take care of business against a team that you won by 5 and 3? And there's not a big difference. I mean, we call it the SEC of Division II. There's a reason why all these teams are and all these games are competitive, no matter where you're seated. So how do you get your team focused and not overlook them, even though they come in as an 8 seed?
Oh, we celebrated last night with the confetti and everything coming down. And once we got to the school this morning, man, we knew it was a new season. We're 0-0, and like you said, man, a good Georgia Southwestern team. They don't have injuries. They don't have took their lumps, but they're playing really good basketball right now. And our guys saw that on film. I think they scored like 90 points against Flagler the other night. So we know we got to come in with our best defensive plan. And our guys know, hey, it's no tomorrow now this time of year. You just got to keep playing and playing good basketball. So I think our guys were prepared for that. I think Georgia College gave us a good picture in our last game of the season, good size on the inside. Georgia Southwestern will cause some problems on the inside as well. And we just went over our game plan, man. Our guys just got to stay locked in and focused because we know what's at stake for Columbus State University.
This is off the court, Coach, but he's a big part of Columbus State is Jimbo Davis. The reason I'm bringing him up because after the game on Saturday, we were there late that night. He stayed there to put the confetti in the Lumpkin Center, man. To have someone like that believes in what y'all have built, making sure staying up till 3:30 in the morning, having T-shirts and hats for you. I mean, come on. He is Mr. CSU, and I know y'all are really close. You got to have a guy like that to be successful at a university.
I tell you a funny joke. I still sleeps in his T-shirt for his 50th birthday party. I tell my wife, I was like, I don't know why I love this T-shirt so much. But like you said, man, everybody in the community knows Jimbo Davis. He's a great friend of mine, and he does everything for CSU, man. If you open that guy up, he bleeds red, white, and blue, man. So it's just wonderful. And our guys love him to death, man. He does a lot for our program, does a lot for CSU athletics. You can't meet a better guy, and I think everybody in the community knows that and understand what Jimbo is all about. He's all about CSU.
Well, Coach, you again play at 7 o'clock, or is it going to be 7:30? I know the girls play at 5, so around 7:30 when y'all will start on Wednesday?
About 7:30. They want to tip off around 7:30, so it's going to be around 7:30, yep.
Okay, and so how much does it cost for people to come in? Because I know the Peach Belt runs the conference tournament, so what's the cost, and how do people get tickets if they want to ahead of time?
All right, they can go to our website, Columbus State University Athletics, and they can purchase tickets. There also will be on the Peach Belt website. Like you said, they're charging $10 general admission. You get to sit. So get there early. You can get a front row seat right behind the bench. Children under 5 and under get in free. Awesome. Anybody with a CSU ID gets in for free. But if you're not a CSU student, faculty member, you're going to have to pay the $10 general admission cost. We gave out tickets all year so we can fill the Lumpkin Center up. These guys are fun to watch. Please come out. $10 will be worth the show, man. Just come in. I told somebody the other day I thought it was Dunk Fest, LA Clippers, with Jared Addison and Jelani James having like 7 or 8 dunks the other night. So it'll be exciting basketball. And Georgia Southwest is our rival. It's going to be a great game, man. Great Peach Belt basketball on Wednesday night.
Yeah, Coach, we're going to be there in support. And if you win that, you'll host the semifinals and finals at CSU. Final question. What's the message to the team to finish the drill? I know you said it's a new season, but what does your team need to do to come out victorious here in this Peach Belt Conference tournament?
It don't change, man. We've been playing great basketball. You've been to a lot of games.
Yep.
We share the rock. We look out for each other. We don't care who gets the credit. We're just going to play Columbus State basketball. And as you know, we're going to change defenses. We're going to press. Yeah. We're going to go zone. We're not changing anything that we do. We'll make a few adjustments because it's tournament time. But it's CSU basketball. These guys believe in what we've been doing all year. It's just time to put up a shut up, and I think our guys are ready for that.
25-3, 16-2, top 5 team nationally, and now in the Peach Belt Conference tournament. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good luck on Wednesday, and let's hope you're cutting down the net Sunday night at the Lumpkin Center.
All right, thank you for having me, Thrift. Love you guys, man.
Love you too, Coach. And that is Coach Robert Moore. I'm telling you, he's getting his flowers. He will be a Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer in the near future. What he's done with CSU has been incredible. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, me and Richard, we've got a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about. What's happening this week? When's the new date for the Spring Media Day? And dropping our baseball rankings here on the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Show. You're watching right now the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this. Georgia-Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without business like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school sport you can think of, local college games, and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching a Georgia-Alabama Sports Live broadcast after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice refreshing Sorry? The best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live.
Introducing Gatorade Water. Alkaline and electrolyte infused for great taste. Gatorade Water, always in motion.
Welcome back here. I was dancing. Richard caught me in the act. It's Thrift. It's Richard. It's the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Show. Man, those are two phenomenal guys, Richard. We'll be cheering for them for sure. And we originally had plans for Wednesday, but I think those plans are going to get moved around. And if that's the case, I think me and you could maybe hopefully make an appearance at the Lumpkin Center and show our face, cover, and do a interview to promote CSU men's and women's playing a playoff game. You know we are excited about that. We'll be cheering them on. All right, we got a lot we got to get into, Richard. We ain't even touched the surface about what's going on, and we're already 41 minutes into the show. Let's go ahead and do baseball rankings, okay? Before you throw them up, I'm just letting you know, everyone that's there, these or how we do these, baseball's a little bit different than basketball and football because a lot of the teams are facing off against each other, Richard, and baseball, again, I feel like you get a lot of the teams are pretty equal in terms of resources and everything else. I don't do the public over private. Baseball's not the type of sport that it matters. For football, yes, specifically, you have to do that. A little bit in basketball too, but not in baseball as much. So you're going to see teams have already faced off where we're going to have them. This doesn't mean this is our final ranking, just the first one. All right, Richard, let's go ahead and do it. I saw him up there. Richard loves baseball, so he's been looking forward to these. Richard, I'll let you start with number 10. And, Richard, if you want, because you sent me rankings that are a little bit different than the final ones we came up with, so you can actually talk about a team that's not on these rankings that you were high on. I mean, and this is a part of the debate. You really can flip a coin with either one, but, Richard, I'll let you start first on who you thought was number 10 and then who is actually number 10 on our list.
Well, yeah, I actually have a few teams that I do want to make mention that are kind of on the outside. I do want to start with the Jordan baseball team. Right now, they are 6-2. They are 2-0 in region play. Coach
I definitely
David
should have
Lane,
had them at number 10, Richard. We definitely should have.
doing a great job. Also, the job that Coach Eric Anthony's doing at Hardaway, they're 7-3. I mean, so Jordan and Hardaway, they're having good records so far. They're going to be playoff teams, but I think that there's so many great baseball teams in this area. It's hard to put them in the rankings, especially when you have a Russell County right there at number 10. I mean, they are going to be good.
And Russell County's played a tough schedule too. I mean, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not great, and I didn't even think about Jordan, to be honest, and Hardaway. Hardaway just got beat by Columbus. I think a little bit has to do with their schedule, and I think Russell County's played a tougher schedule, and I just wanted to give them credit for playing Central tough a few weeks ago. So that's why I had them number 10. But I can see you saying Jordan, and Coach Coach Lane, they're definitely going to make the playoffs this year.
And another team on the outside is Smith Station. Right now they're 6-7, but they have had a tough schedule. They split with Russell County. They actually beat Lee Scott Academy. I thought that was a pretty impressive win. And Russell County, they haven't really played a whole lot of teams. They're only 2-4, but they played some tough competition. Obviously, they lost 4-3 to Central. They lost to Glenwood. And, of course, they lost to Smith Station. So, Russell County, we'll get to see them in the Border Wars when they take on Calvary Christian this weekend. So, Russell County at number 10. Shaw, Shaw plays Columbus this Friday. We'll have that on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Historically, these two teams, always great baseball teams. Now they're in the same region.
I agree with that. And, again, these are not our final rankings. This is just what I have right now. But Jordan, Hardaway, Smith Station, they all could have been vying for that 10. You really – sorry, guys. My allergies I decided to sneeze 5 times in a row on a broadcast. All right, number 9, Shaw. Again, Shaw has played really well start the season so far. I think they're a team between them, Columbus, Jordan, and Hardaway. I think those 4 teams are going to be the teams that make the playoffs this year in this region. I got Shaw number 9. Number 8, Columbus. Columbus has lost to Northside, Harris County. They beat Harris County once, lost them once. Brookstone, and I don't think they played Central yet. They do play at Central.
They do play Central, I think either this week or next week.
And then they do play Glenwood as well. They lost to Pacelli. They've lost to Northside. I mean, they beat Northside.
They beat Northside.
So, again, Columbus, they're right there in the middle. I'm not ready to put them over Pacelli. Pacelli's got a great start. Their only 2 losses are to Lakeside and to FPD. Those are 2 really good programs, and they beat Columbus. So I got Columbus number 8, but I'm telling you right now, Coach Chad Mathis's team will be in the mix to win a championship. I promise you that in that 2A classification. He's played an extremely tough schedule. That's why they've got off to the start that they're in. I got Columbus at 8. Pacelli at number 7. How about Coach Case Rasmus, Richard, in his first year, picking up some big wins, and they'll be in the mix with Calvary and Brookstone in that tough district they play in the GIAA.
Straw Rock is also in their district. Remember that team
elite
got to the semifinals, beat Pacelli in the quarterfinals last year. So the latest rankings for Coaches Box Georgia, and this is kind of leading to the other team that we're going to talk about. Coaches Box Georgia. If you're not familiar with this is a baseball poll. They do all classifications for the GIAA and GHSA. They have their weekly polls, right? And no surprise, Brookstone's number 1, Pacelli's number 6. But I had a bone to pick about a team, and this is the second week in a row, and I actually had to comment and send a message to this guy that does this poll, and I'm still waiting to hear back from him. But, yeah, go ahead, Thrift.
Yeah, I agree, Richard, and I actually commented on that too because I don't know how some of the teams are not even in the rankings, and that includes number 6, Calvary. I've only played 3 games this year. It was an uncharacteristic game against Central, and then they lost to Northside 10-4. They did beat Lakeside, but I think this Calvary team, Richard, they're just hitting the surface of the team that they're potentially going to become. They do got an elite pitcher in Tommy Irving. The problem is, outside of that, their pitching depth is where the issue lies. And Coach Smith knew right now, these first couple of weeks of the season, they're just trying to figure out who they are, who's going to be guys they can rely on. I promise you by the end of the year, Calvary will be a top 4 team in the GIAA playing for a championship. But they come in at number 6. Number 5 is Northside. They almost came back to beat Glenwood. They lost to Columbus and beat Columbus. They also beat Calvary. Northside's a really good program, and Tracy Powell, you've already seen the culture change with this team. Had a losing record last year. They won't have a losing record this year, but this is also a really tough, really tough classification and region they're in. Stars Mill, who's won championships, Harris County with Coach Tony Dimitri, Central Carroll's a really good team, and Northside. I mean, good luck getting out of that region. But Northside comes in at number 5. So Steve Smith's Calvary Christian Knights got some big games this week in the Border Wars. They're going to be taking on Glenwood. They also are going to be taking on Russell County, Hopeville, and Pike Road. So it could be a big week for Coach Smith's Calvary Christian Knights. And for Northside, they got a big week as well. They come in at number 5. Coach Powell's done a great job to start the year at 4-3.
So far, I agree with this ranking. I want to talk about Calvary because how can you leave the 6-time GAPS champions, that is one of the top teams in the state of Georgia, off a top 10 list for GIAA schools? I mean, yes, so Brookstone is number 1. FPD is number 2. Okay, I agree with that. But some of these other teams, you're trying to tell me that Pinewood Christian, Tatnall, Strong Rock, Pacelli, Bethlehem Christian, John Millage, Bullock Academy, Frederica Academy, you're trying to tell me all those teams are better than Calvary? I'm not buying it. And that's why I had to message this guy. And he still has not responded to me. And I'm hoping that, I'm trying to stir up some controversy. I'm trying to get a hot take. But it's puzzling. Even though Calvary, Coach Smith would say this team is not as good as last year's team, but they're just scratching the surface, like you mentioned. They have some key pieces from that championship team, like a Bryson Brooks and a Cam Houston. Obviously, Tommy Irving's going to be their ace. He was fantastic. Jackson Kennedy hitting a 3-run bomb against Lakeside. This Calvary team is going to rattle off some wins, and they're going to compete for a GIAA championship. I cannot believe that Coaches Box Georgia, and yes, I'm calling them out because this is the poll. Coaches Box Georgia left Calvary Christian out of the top 10.
Unbelievable, Richard. I cannot believe that, and I don't even want to talk about them because they're so disrespectful. Number 4, how about Harris County? 7-2. They have got off to a great start. They got a big game on Friday at 2 p.m. against Glenwood. We got number 1 versus number 4 this week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We also got number 1 versus number 6. I can't wait. Richard, you'll be on the call for Glenwood Calvary. Rick Beach will be on the call for Glenwood Harris County. We also got Calvary Russell County, and we got Pacelli. Richard, you'll be on the call for that against, I forgot, Evangel, I think is the team name.
Evangel Christian, yes. The 12 o'clock game for the
12 o'clock on Friday. But Harris County comes in at number 4. Number 3, the Brookstone Cougars, John Woo Kim. They also got an elite catcher in Mercer Hudson. This team, and you got Brennan Neal, A.T. Williams Neal, Maxwell Jones. I mean, this team, they lost a lot. Taft Middleton's that's a Division I player you're trying to replace, but they've done a great job at it so far, and it's really been the pitching depth. They do got a loss at Lakeside. Guess what? Lakeside would be in this list if we had them in our coverage area. We're going to get them a couple times because you got Tony Rastus playing all the local schools in our area. But Brookstone and Lakeside tomorrow night, you're going to be there for that, Richard. That should be a lot of fun. Then number 2, how about the Central Red Devils? 9-4. They got losses to Glenwood. They also lost to, I think, Spanish Fort and a few other schools. But yeah, Central –
they went up to LaGrange for that LaGrange Invitational. So
yeah,
Hewitt Trustville ended up winning the whole thing. So Central had some losses in that tournament.
Yeah, and Glenwood did too. Actually, Glenwood lost a few times in that tournament. It's one of the biggest tournaments, the Donnie Branch tournament that he puts on every year. But Glenwood, They beat Central. They've beaten Russell County. They beat Northside. They beat Harris County and Calvary. They've already beat Smith Station. They got Opelika tomorrow. Glenwood is just on a tear to prove everyone that said that this team in this last 50 years They didn't play no one because right now they're playing everyone and they're beating them, and that's why they're ranked number one. They got the best pitching tandem in the area, and Tyler Sykes and Mason McCrane. Sykes going to Columbus State, McCrane going to Auburn. They got Kyle Lawrence and Levi Pender, both elite players. Are going to play D2 baseball somewhere.
They got Nick Torres, the Shaw transfer.
And they got Nick Torres, the Shaw transfer. This team, Henderson, this team has got full of talent. I am really been impressed with Coach Fanning in these first couple of games. It was an awesome experience to be on there for that Glenwood Central game that lived up to the hype. So number 1, Glenwood, number 2, Central, number 3, Brookstone. Richard, what's your thoughts on the top 3?
I absolutely agree with Glenwood being number 1 because we do value head-to-head. They beat Central, which was a statement win. I would not be shocked if Glenwood wins a championship in the AHSAA. I mean, they are that good. I don't think it's a drop-off. Like, we've seen the Glenwood teams, like the football team and the basketball team, get into the playoffs, and they have played some great games, and they won some great games, but when they get into the playoffs, they're playing AHSAA teams with this experience, like a St. James, like a Montgomery Academy, and they end up losing those games. But I think that because Glenwood has the pitching, you start Tyler Sykes and Mason McCray in game 1 and game 2. These postseason games are a best of 3. You win 2 games, you win the series. You're telling me you're throwing those 2 pitchers, you're going to win a lot of playoff games. I think that having 2 elite pitchers makes Glenwood built for the playoffs, and I think they're going to do very well and could compete for a state championship in 3A.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I think they're going to be awesome. I'll be on the call tomorrow for that Opelika Glenwood game. Richard, you'll be there for Lakeside Brookstone. But here's your top 25, and I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to bring up the schedule this week. Of course, Georgia Alabama Sports Live show here tonight. Tomorrow we got soccer, Pacelli Columbus, Central Carroll Harris County, and Brookstone Calvary. Those are all boys and girls. So Pacelli Columbus is boys only. That should say 7:30. But Brookstone Calvary and Central Carroll Harris County are 5:30, 7:30. And then Richard, me and you will be calling the baseball games. Soccer, YouTube only. Baseball will be Facebook and YouTube. Lakeside Brookstone and Opelika Glenwood.
Nice.
That says 4:30. That's 4:30 Central Time. 5:30 is the time for Opelika Glenwood, and then 5:30 for Lakeside and Brookstone. On Wednesday, we originally have the Columbus Lions Poor Decisions, but that probably won't be happening till next week, but we will have a Columbus Lions show virtually. Me and Rick Beach will be hosting that. We got the Glenwood Coaches Show, Muscogee County Office Hours, and then the CVCC Coach Show. But by the way, congratulations to Joe Richardson and the CVCC Lady Pirates. They not only won the regular season in the ACCC, Alabama Community College Conference, they won the tournament as well, and they're going on to Missouri. How about them winning the state championship in its second season? What a performance by their girls, man. They were absolutely sensational all year. I don't think they lost a conference game. That's how dominant this team was from start to finish. Unbelievable. Aaliyah Younger, Trevicia Giddens, and then, of course, Zy Thompson, who's probably going to go D1 next year. She was the MVP. I am so proud of Coach Richardson and his girls on winning the championship this past weekend. We'll be talking with him and others on the CVCC Coaches Show. Then on Thursday, we got baseball, Heritage at Pacelli. That is Johnny Estrada, the former Braves team, taking on Case Rasmus. That's a rivalry. Richard, you'll be at Border Wars, Calvary at Glenwood, and then we're also, forgot to add on here, Calvary Pike Road. I'll have Mike Peacock on the call for that. So looking forward to having those teams and playing and doing those games. Soccer, we got Lee Scott Glenwood, and then we got softball, 2 games, CVCC 2 and 4 p.m. Friday, we got Columbus at Shaw Baseball. Richard, you'll be doing that. And you'll also be doing the 12 p.m. Pacelli Evangel game. And then Border Wars, we got Harris County Glenwood and Russell County Calvary at 4 p.m. on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then Saturday, baseball at CVCC doubleheader. And soccer, we got Fountain City at 7 p.m. And Sunday, it's finally here. The Columbus Lions home opener, Rick Beach, Austin, I think Allen is his name, because I will not be here. So Austin Allen and Rick Beach, they both will be on the call for this game, Richard. You will be hosting the pregame show with Rick Beach at the tailgating area. Austin Allen and Rick Beach will then be on the call. And then I'll be back sometime. I think the next game is March the 21st. Me and Rick will be doing the rest of the game. So busy week, as we always do on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Any thoughts on this, Richard?
No, it's a busy schedule, and I like how on Tuesday we actually have 5 sporting events. We actually tried 4. I don't think we've ever done 5 sporting events.
Well, we are Tuesday.
We have done 4 high school football games. We have done those, but yeah, that's incredible that we're able to do 5 sporting events in one day.
No doubt about it, man. And looking forward to doing that as well. All right, let's throw that off. You see the schedule. And the final thing I do want to talk about is Spring Media Day. The Beck Center, tennis, soccer, golf, and track and field will all be there in attendance as we talk to a player and a coach for each 6 of the 16 schools that we cover, Richard, for each sport to kind of preview. I know the season's already started. I get it. But this is like a midway point that we can kind of talk to them. They still got a long way to go for their championships. So we look forward to doing this at the Beck Center. Thank you to Roger Beck and the Beck Center for allowing us to host it, Richard. This is another one of your brainchilds, and I know you're looking forward to hosting this 1 p.m. Sunday, March 16th, Spring Media Day at the Beck Center.
Yeah, like you mentioned, these spring sports are already underway. They're having track meets at Kinnett Stadium. Columbus is golfing at Callaway Gardens. You've got Brookstone Golf. You got, I'm trying to think, the tennis at Cooper Creek. I mean, and then, of course, soccer. I mean, the defending state champions, Columbus, they're going to be a part of it. How about those Pacelli and Brookstone teams that met in the GIAA championship? Calvary soccer making deep runs. I mean, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it, and we definitely want to give love to those spring sports because I know it seems like all the attention focuses on baseball in the spring, but we've got fantastic tennis teams. We've got fantastic track. I mean, double coverage is already showing a video of the 100 meters. I mean, we've got some tremendous track athletes that are having some great 100-meter times. And I think that it would be cool just to showcase that. And, of course, think of like the Masters is coming up. We've got some great golfers. Remember, Ben Carr went to Columbus and played golf there. And he almost made the cut at the Masters. So we've got some just great athletes for the spring sports.
Richard, the final thing I did want to talk about is it's Columbus versus everyone, right? So we all should be cheering on the team from Hardaway. They're the final team alive, 1 p.m. at Macon. We won't be able to be there. I'm actually going out of town Thursday and won't be back until Sunday, but we'll be cheering for them, and we hope they cut down the nets. I think this is a team that's focused. They would have beaten, Richard, the number 3 team, the number 2 team, and the number 1 team. Then they would beat the number 6 team, number 3 team, and the number – hold on. I'm confusing myself now. They're the number 3 seed. They would beat the 6, the 2, and the number 1. They would beat the 6, the 2, and the number 1 because they came in as a 3 seed, which was a joke of a seeding. And they've won every game by double digits. They won the last game by 15. I think they're going to take care of business against a good Murray County, but I think they're going to win by double digits, man.
Yeah, I thought it was disrespectful that they were ranked 3rd. And Josie, just because they went to the championship last year, they were a 2A school. Yeah, they do have a lot of talent, but Hardaway is just playing in a different class. Now, they were close against Josie. We were watching that game on the NFHS network, but Hardaway's depth just put that game away, and they are back in the championship. I remember, Thrift, because we were both watching that championship last year against Baldwin and how close Hardaway was to winning that championship. Now they have another opportunity to cut down the nets and to hang that championship banner in their gymnasium. And I cannot wait. And I'll be watching it. It'll be on GPB Sports, and I will be watching it and cheering on for the Hardaway Lady Hawks.
Cannot wait. Thank you so much for saying that, Richard, as we are all cheering for the Lady Hawks on, and we think they're going to do big things And for the Lions, we got the Columbus Lions show that's going to be on here, so we'll save that preview for then. We will not be doing another Georgia Alabama Sports Live show. Probably we're going to do one while I'm gone. I was thinking Saturday morning or Friday morning, or probably Saturday morning, because I want to talk about the Hardaway Hawks winning the championship. Actually, Richard, you won't be able to because you'll be at drills, so we probably won't be doing another show this week. Maybe on Wednesday. It is still up in the air because, again, we got an incredibly busy week of shows. CVCC Coaches Show, Glenwood Coaches Show, Lions, and office hours. But if we're going to put one in, it may be on Wednesday. And if we do, we're going to try to get Coach Kelly Ellison on. We're going to try to talk River Dragons as well. And we're going to cheer on those Columbus State Cougars. From Richard Holdridge, I'm Thrift Barringer saying thank y'all so much for watching tonight. Like and subscribe and go watch a lot of baseball and soccer here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live this week. Good night, everyone. Thank you for watching the Georgia Alabama Sports Live show presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. You're ready to smile.